Beautiful friend, on October 6th or 7th, depending on your time zone, we're going to have a powerful supermoon, full moon in the bold, fiery, just say yes to your heart sign of Aries. The vibe of this full moon is very enthusiastic, focused, upbeat, and you could feel like you are ready, so ready to move forward, take the reins of your life, take charge of something that is very, very important to you. In fact, if you're one of the ones most affected by this full moon, this could feel like a turning point for you. There may be some action that you are taking that you know is vital to your freedom and independence, to doing your life your way on your terms. And this full moon very much supports that. So in part one of this video, I'm excited to share with you what can you expect in terms of the themes of this full moon? What are the planetary conversations going on, and who among you will feel this full moon most intensely? In part two, I will be doing, as always, readings for all 12 signs based on your rising sign, but watch your sun and moon sign as well, as you may also get additional insights and intuitive messages that help you to navigate the energies. Every full moon has a story, and you want to watch part one if you want to know the nuances and the nuggets of wisdom and insight that will help you to make the most of this lunation and the gifts that it has for you. As I was preparing for this video, channeling the energy as I do for you, I got very excited because I'm feeling a wonderful sense of empowerment, a positive push that can move us out of stagnancy or where we weren't feeling up to the task of taking action, but now we are. So before I dive deeper with you, I want to say hello and welcome if you're brand new to the channel. I'm really glad you're here. You are warmly welcome to be part of this like-minded community. All you have to do is tap the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss a video. Welcome back to our subscribers. I love that you are part of this community. And if you don't know me, I'm Betsy Gutting. I'm a psychic astrologer, intuitive life coach, and the author of the book, The Magic of Saying Yes, Answering Your Heart's True Calling. Very appropriate for this Aries full moon. It's always my intention to inspire and empower you through Western tropical astrology and give you practical tips in these videos as well for navigating the energies so that you can move forward. I do astrology consultations. We meet live one-on-one on Zoom. So stay tuned till the end of the video. I'll tell you more about my readings and my coaching. And I have a free gift for you that I'm going to tell you about at the end as well. I write about the astrology between videos. So if you'd like to get my weekly inspirational astrology updates direct to your inbox, go to my website, sign up for free, and you'll get my free gift instant download right away as well. Like all full moons, this full moon in Aries will play out for many of you as something completing, something ending, a full circle moment that could feel like a graduation or look how far I've come, or it could be something manifesting. Many of us during this full moon will release something. Our emotions will be more amplified, especially in Aries energy. It's fire. Fire transforms us. You could feel like you are letting go of something, anything that's no longer aligned with you, whether it's a relationship, a pattern, or dynamic in relationships, a job, a place of living, a career. It could be a health issue resolving, or something could come to light for you. A truth could be illuminated. Timing wise, we are reaching a point of fruition that began with the new moon in Aries, which was a solar eclipse on March 29th of 2025. So you might want to go back to March of this year and ask yourself what was going on for you then? What felt big, especially emotionally, to you at that time? Not only this, but 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before this full moon, we had a solar eclipse in Virgo. And this full moon could feel like a mini culmination of that solar eclipse. What came to light for you during eclipse season? Was there anything that you could look back and say, that was my eclipse season? You could be taking steps during this full moon, or you could have had a revelation or a realization. This is what I have to do now as a result of that eclipse season. So all full moons are what we call oppositions. The sun and the moon are opposite each other on the zodiac wheel. In this case, we have the sun in Libra, which is focused on relationships and the we, as we say, doing it together, working as a team. Opposite the moon in Aries, the I am. This is how I want my life to go. This is my identity. These are the roles I am choosing to embody. Aries is very self-directed. And because all full moons are oppositions, the sun and the moon are facing each other. It's like you and another person interacting. And this is why we say that we feel full moons more in our relationships, and they can be more emotional as well. And this one is a super moon. Have you noticed that supermoons appear to be brighter and closer than other full moons? Because of this, we feel an amplified emotional pull as well. Not to mention that the moon's gravitational pull is also more intense during a supermoon, which may mean for you that in Aries energy, you will feel more of a sense of urgency. It reminds me of some of the advertising gimmicks. Act fast, hurry, this deal won't last. Already, we can feel like we're behind in Aries energy. We can feel like I should have done that yesterday. And this is why we say that we can be impulsive and lack patience with an Aries lunation. Many of you will probably feel, if you haven't felt it already, which you may have, you will probably feel a strong need to take some sort of action. After all, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. Aries does like being first. Aries is known for being the pioneer, progressive, leading the charge. What I love about Aries energy is that it is the sign of new beginnings, spring springing. And I got the image preparing for this video of someone at a starting gate, poised to take off, poised to begin the race. How might this play out for you? Aries rules are I am identity, however you would describe yourself. The roles that we play personally and professionally, the responsibilities that we take on, the things that we say yes to. But identity is more than that, right? Identity is woven into our passion and our purpose. And when an old identity no longer ignites our hearts, that's when a full moon like this could really show you that something is done for you, something has been completed. We want freedom. Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you are ready for more freedom. Raise your hand if you are ready to be to feel more autonomous, to call more of the shots in your life, including how you spend your time moment by moment. There's a lot of energy, which I'm going to talk with you more about when we get to the planetary conversations, that are very much supporting us breaking out, breaking free, taking the reins of our life, so to speak. And the other thing to remember about Aries energy is that this is the sign in which we are called to take a risk. It's the Fool in the tarot deck. The Fool doesn't know how things are going to go. The Fool doesn't think too much about it. The Fool takes his or her knapsack, puts it on the back, and opens the door and walks out into the new horizon and says, I don't know necessarily why I'm doing this. I just know that I have to do it. It's a just know feeling. Often it's, I just know that where I've been or where I am now, I can't stay here anymore. So Aries energy is known for overcoming obstacles. Cardinal fire. I initiate, I listen to my ambitions and I follow them. And I'm willing to go through the hero's journey, which involves an intense transformation. It involves meeting up with often obstacle or challenge after challenge, right? I'm willing to do that because the fire that's burning in my belly, the inspiration that I can feel from the divine is so strong that that is what is going to pull me forward. That's the energy of this full moon. Now, the lower octave of Aries energy that I think is helpful to keep in mind, if not relevant in our own personal lives, we may see this in the collective. It's fire. It can be inflammatory words, conflicts, war, I'm sorry to say, because the lowest octave of Aries is coming from a place of ego and being so triggered in the subconscious mind that we don't even remember to pause, observe what we're feeling, take a breath, and calm down. Aries, the ram, can just ram its way into a situation because the ego is that inflamed. And so that's just something to be aware of. What this full moon is supporting us to do instead is to be very aware of our emotions. Anger could come up. So could intense passion and drive. but witnessing what is arising, caring for that child inside of us that may feel out of control, processing our feelings and releasing them. With that all said, all full moons are a call to balance, balancing what I know I need for myself, what I'm driven to do, what is lighting me up, my passion, balancing that with the Libra energy, which is working well with others, right? Playing well with others, allowing others to support you, keeping in mind that harmony and balance, diplomacy, and ease can make this hero's journey much more enjoyable. But we are meant to take a risk. We are meant to gather our courage, and we are being, many of us, guided forward to go beyond our previous limits. And for some of you to step into a brand new identity, a spiritual identity that could very much feel like an up leveling. I haven't been here before. I don't know what this is. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can be successful. That would be very natural. So who will most feel this full moon in Aries? It is happening at 14 degrees. So if you have planets or points in Aries or the other cardinal signs of Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, near 14 degrees, let's say 10 to 18 degrees of Aries, you will feel this full moon most intensely. All of us will feel it collectively, of course, and you will feel it. At the very least, the themes that I'm going to talk about in the 12 sign readings, perhaps the desires, the motivation, the new beginning, or the ending completion, you will feel this in the house in your natal astrology chart in which you have 14 degrees of Aries. So what planetary aspects, what are the conversations that are going on with the other planets during this full moon? First of all, it is notable that the sun and the moon are not talking to any other planets during this full moon, which is somewhat unusual. As a result, you could feel this full moon more personally. It could feel more inward to you, more reflective. Potentially, what you're taking action on may not even be something that you are talking a lot about with other people unless it's a trusted confidant, or one or two people that you go to for advice, possibly. Now, the planetary ruler of this full moon in Aries is Mars. Mars is the planet of get up and go. It rules our drive, it rules our motivation, and it is connected to the physical body as well, our stamina and our strength, our endurance. During this full moon, Mars is in the sign of Scorpio. Mars in Scorpio can be very focused to the point of obsession, even. Head down, I'm gonna get this thing done. I'm intensely committed. And Mars in Scorpio is connected to the 8th house of transformation, death and rebirth, power and control, emotional and sexual intimacy, shared resources, investments, taxes, real estate. I call it the house of emotional attachments. So any of those areas of your life could come up in addition to the areas in the house where the full moon is happening for your rising sign. But also there is a wonderful simpatico between Mars and Scorpio and this full moon because Mars rules the moon and Mars is strong in Scorpio. However, there is a plot twist to this full moon, and that is that not only is Mars in Scorpio, Mercury is in Scorpio as well, and Mercury in Scorpio is making a square to Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. Mercury square Pluto is not an easy aspect. For some of us, and probably in the collective, we're going to see this, a truth, news, information, something that we didn't see coming, something that was previously hidden or unspoken will be revealed or spoken out loud for the first time or showing up on social media and the news. And whatever this something is, it's likely to feel very dark, shady, deceptive, could be a betrayal, it could be quite shocking. Mercury in Scorpio wants to get to the root of something. It's squaring Pluto in Aquarius, which is future focused. Pluto wants progress and innovation. It's supporting the collective, the community. So we'll see how this plays out in our individual communities and globally. But for you personally, my friend, this is likely to play out. If you feel this aspect, it will depend on the planets or points in your natal astrology chart. But it's likely to be connected to a dream or goal that is very important to you, that you even feel like is the number one thing that you have to achieve or make happen over the next year. And so, what we want to keep in mind is that Pluto transits, and this is Mercury squaring Pluto, Pluto transits are a call to recognize fear. And we really can't ignore the fear when it comes up in this context. You will feel it, you will know, but to recognize that fear as a response rather than as a roadblock. It's a subconscious response. It's with Pluto energy, it's often a fear of powerlessness. I don't have the power to change this, or, a very strong emotional reaction to what someone else does, says, or doesn't do that they said they would do. It can bring up trust issues for sure. And our only work with the Mercury square Pluto aspect, our only work is to be present for our emotions, be present with the fear, be present with any emotion coming up, allow ourselves to process it, to release it, to let it go so it doesn't stand in the way of our forward momentum, which there's going to be plenty of during this full moon. Big picture, Pluto can show us if the fear actually has a point, if it's showing us a person or situation that isn't in alignment with who we are. Sometimes it can do that. If it's showing us where we need to set a clear boundary, that's very important with Pluto, or walk away from something that is toxic to us, then it's rejection as God's protection. And interestingly, there's another planetary conversation going on that is very supportive of us, of taking care of that inner child, taking care of our emotional needs. And that is Jupiter in Cancer, connected to family, connected to the mother, connected to your own inner child. Jupiter in Cancer moving into a square with Chiron in Aries. In short, this planetary conversation between Jupiter and Chiron is saying we have to put our own emotional well-being first. We have to take care of that part of us that feels vulnerable. With Chiron, this is a core wound of abandonment, betrayal, or shame. We all came into this lifetime with a core wound. It may be triggered during this full moon to say, are you taking care of that part of you that could feel abandoned? Are you taking care of that part of you that could feel betrayed or shamed? It's an opportunity to heal that, to work on healing that. And the reason it's so important right now is that we are heading into this new territory. That's Aries energy. We are on a new path. We've come very far in our soul's evolution. But in the past, and this is a Cancer energy kind of thing, Jupiter in Cancer, in the past, we may have abandoned ourselves rather than speaking up when we needed something. We may have swept conflict under the rug. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want this person to think I don't like them or that I'm questioning them. So I'm just going to keep my concerns to myself, but in the process, abandoning the self. The difference here, we've come too far now. We've come too far now to repeat this, I'm just going to stay silent so I don't ruffle anyone else's feathers. We've come too far for that. So in this case, I think some of you may experience, because we don't want to repeat that past of abandoning ourselves, which can be a very subtle form of codependence, right? You may really feel during this full moon or leading up to it or as it's ending, you could feel, I can't do that anymore. I have to speak up about this. I have to advocate for myself. I can no longer play nice so as not to offend someone. And I think what we can know is that we've also come far enough that we will be diplomatic, we will be direct, we will be honest, we will be kind. And if that still makes somebody else upset or uncomfortable, that's their work, right? So overall, I think this is going to be a very empowering part of this full moon. And what I love is as well is that as we get to the end of October and in early November, Jupiter is going to make a beautiful trine to Saturn retrograde in Pisces, and that is going to be super supportive of our foundation, of building something new, of a long-term plan. Jupiter is acting as a real expander with Saturn for our goals, whatever your goal is, my friend. This is very, very supportive, and this is something we have to look forward to as the full moon begins to recede and we move further into October. Not only this, there's more. On October 8th, just 2 days after this full moon, Venus in Virgo is going to make a sextile to Jupiter in Cancer. This is a beautiful transit. I love this transit. It's one of the most productive, feel-good transits of the month, and it's happening on the heels of this full moon, and I'm sharing it with you because if you have any uncomfortable thing go on with the aspects that I just mentioned, you could really experience a breakthrough when Venus sextiles Jupiter. Because Jupiter in Cancer wants to bring us the blessings and the good fortune. Jupiter in Cancer wants to bring us that something tangible, and it feels emotionally grounding and secure for us. So whatever happens with this full moon, a breakthrough, a potential breakthrough is on its way shortly afterward. And finally, we also have what I've talked about in past videos, very, very important collective aspect that many of us are feeling as well, or will feel during this full moon. And that is what is called a minor grand trine, or a magic triangle between Pluto in Aquarius, Uranus in Gemini, and Neptune in Aries. And this is an Aries full moon. So Neptune, it's the 0 degrees, the very, very beginning, pure potential, everything is possible. Because it's in Aries, Neptune, and it's a full moon in Aries, and Pluto is harmonizing with Neptune, and Pluto is harmonizing with Uranus, and Uranus is harmonizing with Neptune. This is very, very positive and supportive for us innovating the new dream, the new, I just have to do this because I'm feeling called. Freedom and independence are calling me forward. This minor grand trine, aka magic triangle, is helping us to innovate or call in resources that we didn't even know were there. It's helping to show us a workaround or other options or possibilities for taking control of our life, for taking the reins and running with whatever you know in your heart, my friend, that you just have to say yes to. So if you're feeling these energies, I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment, let me know if there's something in your life that you feel fired up about right now, something that you just know you have to take action on. Okay, my beautiful friends, let us do the 12 sign readings now for your full moon. Listen to your rising sign. Your rising sign will correspond to the area of your life in which you will experience this full moon based on the whole sign house system. Listen also to your sun and your moon signs because they will bring up other themes and intuitive messages and oracle card messages that will very likely be relevant for you as well. And let us start with Aries because beautiful Aries, this is your full moon. And I would be very surprised if you are not feeling it already. I have Mars in Aries and I am definitely feeling it. And this is several days before the actual full moon when I'm filming this. So Aries, the full moon for you is happening in the house of you. It's happening in your first house of who are you, Aries? Who are you now? Who do you want to be? This is that word we call identity, right? I am. I would be surprised if, especially if you have planets or points close to this 14-degree point where the full moon is, I would be surprised if there isn't something that has probably for a while now been shifting in you. This often does show up as this role that I play at work, this title, this thing that I do, the way I spend my time, it just doesn't fit me anymore. Or the relationship that I'm in is somehow off, or I've evolved out of it, or the other person, you get the idea. Like there are no judgments here. It's just we can often grow in different directions from other people. And you could very well feel that during this full moon because it is opposite your 7th house of partnerships, and it's, that's where the sun is. And so it's on this axis of the 1st and 7th house. It's very hard to divide up these energies. It's a relationship full moon for you. I'm sure of it. And it doesn't mean that there's a relationship ending. It doesn't mean that. But for some of you, that's possibly true. For some of you, and when I say relationships, I mean all in, professionally, I mean the people that are very close to you. These are 7th house relationships are spouses, they're lovers, they are the people, people that we have a certain amount of commitment to. They have a certain amount of commitment to us. It can be adult children, it can be best friends. It's the people that, the ones that we call, the ones that we text when important things are going on in our lives. It can also be, a coworker that you spend a lot of time with, or, a supervisor, anyone that's playing a big role in your life right now, Aries. So an ending, a completion, sense of I'm coming full circle with something. Because the first house is also your vitality, your physical vitality, there could be something that is coming full circle or completing that has to do with your health in some way. Some of you could have been treating something with your health, and that's ending, completing, or it's being taken care of during this full moon, or you're figuring out a plan for that. It could be a planning kind of thing. This full moon wants to bring a big spark of aliveness to you, Aries. Are you feeling that? It is that quote from Howard Thurman that I love to quote of, don't ask what the world needs, ask what brings you alive, because what the world needs is more people who have come alive. So you could definitely feel like there is a new spark of possibility for you. I hope that you're feeling that. Freedom, independence, adventure. Aries, you're adventurous. You have to be passionate. What I was going to say, you can't, life can only be, on this sort of same rhythm for you for not for very long before you want to change things up. Let me know if that's true. With my Mars and Aries, I notice that every 2 years, I often want to make some sort of a change. And it doesn't have to be a major change. It doesn't have to be that you're moving or that you're changing jobs or that you're changing relationships. It could just be your desire for challenge. Aries people love a challenge. They want to grow. It is the sign of self-actualization. We associate Aries with leadership. And there are a lot of different ways that you can experience leadership in your own life. So a new endeavor that will make you feel like you are going to the next level of your evolution or your growth, Aries, is very possible for you as well. And because this full moon is happening in your first house, it's an angle of your chart. It can affect any of the other angles. Your 10th house of career, your 7th house of partnership, your 4th house of home and family. It could affect one or more of those areas as well. So new relationships beginning, relationships ending, or a relationship pattern ending, or a new role, a new status, a new endeavor, a house move, a career move. A lot of possibilities for this full moon for you, Aries. Or, since it's fruition, some of you could be taking a relationship to the next level of commitment. You could be getting married. Or I know not everybody gets married. It could be some other thing. You could be taking a big trip with somebody that signifies a new level of commitment. So Aries, I've been shuffling. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. And because of the Mercury-Pluto square that I talk about in part 1 of this video, please go back and watch part 1 if you haven't already, because I give you so many other nuggets to work with and that fill out the story of this full moon. But because of that square, there's an even more intensity and even more desire and need for truth, and for some of you, like a reckoning. Or it could feel that much more transformational to you, because Mars is in Scorpio, and Scorpio energy is all about transformation. Aries, your card is, you are overcoming obstacles. Aries, you can overcome anything. Aries, this is so you. Do you notice that there's a part of you, an energy within you that wants, that if you look, we don't always notice in the present moment, but if you look back on your life, do you notice that you have overcome many obstacles? See, Aries to me is the hero's journey. The hero's journey is inherently, it has, just like any hero's journey movie, right? Like I'm thinking of the Harry Potter movies, but of course there's so many adventure movies where there's obstacle after obstacle, and as they overcome the obstacle, they rise, they rise, they rise. That's you, Aries. So here's this juicy peach The sword, which represents air, represents conversation, communication, and truth, is, like, what your truth is, what you have to say, what you need to do to advocate for yourself, if that, or the conversations you need to have to get the truth out into the open. And as a result, you are overcoming an obstacle and you are given the opportunity to open up this juicy peach and enjoy the richness, the deliciousness of life, Aries. If anything that I shared resonates, or you just want to leave me a comment and let me know how you're feeling the energy of this full moon, I would absolutely love to hear. Pisces. Hello, beautiful Pisces. Pisces, let's talk about your Aries full moon. It is happening for you in your second house. And the second house is the house of earned income. This is full moon is going to bring up themes for you of self-love, deserving, self-worth, material security, possessions. It's an ending, completion, graduation moment, or a manifestation. So a lot of things could happen given that this could be a new beginning, but it can also be something ending for you. And it has to do with earned income and our possessions. And, do we feel like we have our material needs met? Any of these things could be coming up for you during this full moon. You may be changing your income in some way. You may have already decided or be deciding that you want to earn money in a different way. The side gig, there's all these words these days for doing things differently. And now the light is just streaming in. I love this so much. Pisces, you just brought in the light. So beautiful. Pisces, this spirit is with you. Spirit is with you. I'm going to cry. Spirit is with you in this new endeavor, because this full moon, I believe, is not just an ending. There's an awareness that we've been having where we need more freedom in our life. That's the big picture of this full moon. We need more freedom. We need more independence. The world, even the economy, is moving in that direction with Pluto and Aquarius, and then this magic triangle that's supporting that I talk about in part 1 of this video. We're moving toward giving everybody, that's Pluto and Aquarius, everybody deserves to have more freedom, right? Not just the few, not just the top 1%, so to speak. We all deserve to feel that we have autonomy in our lives. But to feel that, we have to feel deserving. We have to feel worthy. And you, Pisces, just went through this major eclipse season. And it wasn't just this eclipse season, it was the one before that and the one before that, with the eclipses on the Virgo Pisces axis, 2024 to 2027. So I would be surprised if you haven't already, since 2024, when the eclipses first started happening, decided that you want more freedom in your life. And it could have to do with this particular area of your life. This full moon is actually on the 2nd and 8th house axis, which means it's financial security, it's your income, but also, the things that the money that we save, the investments. Now, I know not everybody invests, but like the idea that, you could put away money for a nest, you could have a nest egg, you could slowly, and we're all different ages, we're all in different situations. I get that. But this full moon is supporting you to create more material security, for you to feel more rooted, for you to feel like you can create the physical comforts in your life that will bring you security, happiness, and joy. And so you could be saying goodbye to an income. You could be closing out a way of earning money. You could be getting all kinds of new ideas, or a new idea about creating that. You could be really into investing right now, some of you, because it's opposite the 8th house, this full moon. Some of you could be going through a relationship breakup. You could be dividing resources that or stuff, furniture and so on, with another person, bank accounts, all of that. This full moon will probably be transformational for you if you have planets or points in the cardinal signs around that 14-degree point, because this is a very transformational axis. The 8th house, where the sun is the house of transformation, death, and rebirth. So anything to do with finances, loans, taxes, sexual intimacy, emotional intimacy, the things that can really trigger us emotionally, these things could come up for you during this full moon, Pisces, all to help you to transform, to feel more empowered with your physical life, your material life, your money, and the relationships that that have brought you, or that you would like to bring you, more stability. If they're not bringing you stability, if a relationship isn't right for you anymore, if you're meant to go set your separate ways, then of course that could happen during this full moon as well. So Pisces, I didn't mean to go that deep with you, but I trust the process. I trust the energy. I trust the channeling. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. Every time I do a video, I'm like, I'm not going to make it so long. It's so much more work for me to edit. But then I'm like, no, it's just being in the flow. Pisces, you get that. I have my midheaven in Pisces and my south node in Pisces. So Pisces. And I love the light flowing in right now. It's so pretty. Okay, so Pisces, you are still in this process of clearing the past and healing the present, rejuvenating rain. And I don't mean to make that sound like it's not a good place to be. It's a beautiful card. Look at this card. She's by the waterfall. She's giving herself the self-care and the nourishment that she needs. She's clearing the past. This is going to be a full moon that's, I think, going to help you to clear the past. We have many layers of our past often, right? In fact, this full moon could be you declaring that you have fully released something from your past that's held you back. This could feel like an amazing graduation moment for you, an amazing, all the mist. This reminds me of you, Pisces, all the mist and the purple here. Rejuvenating. This full moon wants to rejuvenate you. If you want to claim your rejuvenating rain, your rejuvenation, or anything else you want to share, beautiful Pisces, let us know in the comments below. Aquarius, Aquarius. Beautiful Aquarius. The Aries full moon for you, and it's a potent one. Watch part 1 if you haven't before this, because I have a lot to share with you on how you can work with the energies. But this full moon, first of all, it makes a beautiful sextile to your energy. Sextiles bring opportunities, they bring workarounds, they bring solutions. They are really practical gifts in our life. Aquarius, this full moon is happening in your 3rd house. It's an ending, completion, graduation moment, or a full circle moment of look how far I've come, or a manifestation. The moon is full. It can feel like, our hope is restored often during a full moon, but sometimes we have an illumination or something is brought to our attention that we weren't expecting that can be surprising too. The 3rd house is the house of moving and shaking. It is where we do our transactions, our buying, our selling, our freelance work. If you have your own business or you do any sort of contract work, it's where we want freedom. We want agency. So, communication, mindset, short trips, devices, vehicles fall into this house, and our relationships with siblings, aunts, uncles, and cousins. It's our local environment. A full moon here could mean that you are changing your local environment. You're leaving a neighborhood. You're changing where you do something on a regular basis, whether it's working out, shopping, where you get the things that support you in your life, or where you meet up with people. That could be changing. It's a full moon that is bringing both some sort of culmination, change, or manifestation, but also very likely a new beginning. Something's being sparked for you. There's a new fire burning in your belly. You could be very excited about, some sort of communication, some sort of learning. If you're doing a podcast, if you're writing a blog, if you are doing some sort of business where there's, all businesses require communication, right? But like you could have a storefront, or you could be, putting a website online that has a, place for people to buy products or services. This full moon, Aquarius, is happening opposite your 9th house of expansion. So it's really happening in the 3rd and the 9th houses. And the 9th house is getting out there into the world more, long distance travel, new scenery, you know, the longer trips where we are transformed as a result of the adventures that we're taking, where we think in new ways, we see with new eyes. That's the ninth house. So this is the axis, the third and ninth house of learning and growth. There's this full moon wants to expand you, transform you through new possibilities, new horizons, new growth. Some of you could be leaving behind a religion or a way of thinking, a philosophy that has been limiting for you. You could be changing the way you think about yourself. You could be working on your manifestational power. You could be working on how you think about what you want. You could be getting into the vortex, as Abraham Hicks calls it, and, you know, really amplifying what your heart most wants, letting those heart waves go out into the energetic field to pull back to you what you most want. But Aquarius, I would be surprised for you if you weren't in a place of new adventure right now. If not thinking about a new adventure, having already started a new adventure, and that could involve some sort of learning or writing or speaking, podcasting, broadcasting, you know, creating some sort of a platform, teaching to share with others what you have to say. Aquarius, let's pull a card for you now and see what the cards have to say. Remember, this is a new beginning and or an ending at the same time. Aries energy says, just say yes to your heart. Are you just saying yes to your heart, Aquarius? Let's see what the cards have to say. This is a call to use the practice of gratitude. It says, through gratitude, your joy will expand. Grace and gratitude. There is grace moving through your life during this full moon. There is something falling into place for some of you that is coming from the divine. The more that you already know, this is just a reminder, the more that you are grateful and you practice gratitude for what you're already experiencing in your life, the sooner, the more easily the divine can bring you what your heart wants next. And I think a lot of you right now, you're just ready for joy. Joy expands through gratitude. Joy expands. If you want to claim your joy in the comments below or anything else, Aquarius, let me know. I would love to hear. Capricorn. Hello, beautiful Capricorn. Capricorn, you are one of the ones who are likely to feel this full moon more intensely if you have planets or points in the mid degrees of your sign, because Aries is cardinal and you are cardinal, and you are going to experience this full moon in your fourth house of home, family, childhood conditioning. This is the house of ancestral healing. It represents the mother line. It represents your own deep, it's the most personal point of the chart, the lowest point of the chart, where we really go inward and reflect and heal and put our roots down, metaphorically, but also often, you know, our actual roots. Belonging, where we need to feel, it's a core need for every human to feel a sense of belonging. So Capricorn, this is an ending, completion, full circle graduation moment or a manifestation for you that could play out in your physical home. It could play out with family members, with somebody moving into your home or moving out of your home. But it could also be something deeper for you. Healing your relationship with your mother, for example, whether she's here on this earthly plane or not. Healing with your inner child, or something potentially that has been carried through your ancestral line or your mother line for eons, that is now that you may be the disruptor, the positive disruptor that is now, you know, this idea that this stops here, this will never be repeated again. You know, I'll just share a quick example with you, Capricorn. So my mom's mom, I'm just suddenly feeling very emotional about this, but my mother's mother was a Russian Jew. She came here from Russia, and she never quite felt a sense of belonging here in the US. She never quite felt like this was her home, but she lived here her whole life after leaving Russia. And that insecurity that she felt, it rippled through the mother line in our family. And very, very subtle, right? Very, very subtle. And so I have personally done a lot of healing on that mother line, on our ancestral line, in family constellations and other kinds of therapeutic modalities. And I'm only bringing this up because it might resonate with one or more of you. I actually feel that a lot of us have done that work, and that we may feel during this full moon a sense of resolution, that we can now claim our autonomy, and we can now claim there's an individuation that you might feel on a very deep level that is makes you feel very safe and secure. And it could be subtle. You could say, I have felt safe and secure, but you could feel it more deeply during this full moon, Capricorn. And keep in mind that because this full moon's happening on the axis of your 4th and 10th houses, the sun is in your 10th house of career, legacy, life purpose express, retirement, semi-retirement, the house of how you want to spend your time. Keep in mind that you could feel this full moon in either area. You could feel it in your career area, or how you spend your time, or your life purpose. You could feel it there, or in your home family sector. Again, new beginning, an ending, a manifestation, or a wonderful illumination, a wonderful truth, realization, understanding that brings clarity, very big picture clarity that on a very deep level heightens your sense of security within yourself. Security, belonging, roots. You get the idea, I hope, Capricorn. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. And some of you just want a new home, very possibly, or some of you just want to move, you want to, start a career, you want a career that is more satisfying to you, that feels more in line with your purpose. Or some of you may want to retire or be retiring as well. Leave me a comment. Let me know if any of this resonates. Let's see what the cards have to say. And thank you so much for being a part of this community, for subscribing, for your support. I really appreciate you, Capricorn. Your card is Embracing Enthusiasm. I love this card so much. Shout to the heavens with happiness. Yes, yes, yes. There is something. So you see the butterflies, they represent transformation. There is something that you are going to be shouting to the heavens with enthusiasm about. It could be that you're finding your true home. It could be that there's a deepening of love within your home. It could be that you are advancing somehow within your career, starting your own business, or leaving a job, or understanding what legacy you want to leave, or starting retirement, or doing something that brings you freedom and adventure. Remember, this is a freedom, adventure, autonomy full moon. Something that you want to shout to the heavens with enthusiasm about. If this resonates, or anything else, beautiful Capricorn, and you would like to share in the comments, I would love to hear. Sagittarius, Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. Beautiful Sag. Sag, you are going to experience this Aries full moon in your 5th house of love and romance, children, and creative expression, free, unbridled creative expression. And this is a beautiful energy for you. You get a trine, and a trine is the best aspect we can get, the most flowing, the most easeful. So this is a really beautiful energy for your Sag energy. It is an ending, completion, graduation moment, or a new beginning, or both for you. And you could feel like there is something manifesting. So, based on the themes that I just shared, some of you could be having a new romance. Some of you could be deepening your love with another person. Some of you could get pregnant, or be, feeling quite fertile during this full moon, FYI, if that's not something you want. Or your creativity could really be on fire, Sag. Really be on fire. This is, so as I look at my notes here, I'm just getting this vibe, this very strong vibe to tell you, get out and about. Don't be a hermit. If you want more interaction socially, if you want more fun, if you want more aliveness, going dancing, listening to music. This is a very celebratory energy. If you want to have fun, Sag, this is the full moon to do it. It's opposite, where the sun is opposite your house of dreams, fulfillment, community, friendships, long-term financial gains, branding or promoting your own business, getting support from others. So that's the axis that this is falling on. And the 11th house is a full circle completion in and of itself. That's one of the themes of the 11th house. And that is like there's a new, something new that wants to start for you, a new dream. What is your new dream, Sag? You're being supported to go after that with the sun there. So let us see what the cards have to say. I just feel this, like, I know I've said it already, Sag, but I just feel this very strong, free yourself to go do something that's fun. And it could be for some of you, you may not want to be social at all. You just may want to stay home and read a book or play with oracle cards or, do a tarot reading for yourself or get out your whatever you use to make art with. It could be those kinds of things as well. Dance, whether you go out dancing or you dance at home. Something that helps you move the energy, because Aries energy is quite powerful and we do have to move that energy to get going. And some of you, I think, just are ready to let loose and have fun, go to a party, something like that. Okay, Sag. Let's see what the cards have to say for you. I'm also getting the hit that when we relax our energy by relaxing and having fun, that's when we are more receptive to receiving the things that are out of the blue that we're not expecting to get. That would light us up, Sag. Your card is, you are in the flow, everything is smooth sailing. Some of you, this is very whimsical card, very childlike, 5th house. Some of you may have a manifestation happen around Christmas time, just because there is this kind of Christmas vibe in this card with the sleigh and the red with all the white that she's wearing, very Santa-like. But there's also a sense of magic, and you're magic, Sag. You have a lot of magic. Visualizing perhaps being in a sleigh and in the sky in a sleigh, and notice where that sleigh takes you. I have several guided meditations on my YouTube channel and one that you can download for free from my website as well when you sign up for my weekly inspirational updates. So those meditations might help you to do a visualization like this, where you are soaring through the sky and noticing metaphorically what the universe wants to give you, the messages, the signs, the synchronicities. Beautiful, Sag. You are in the flow. Congratulations. Let me know if this resonates. I would love to hear. Scorpio. Hello, beautiful Scorpio. Happy birthday to those of you who are having October birthdays, and you are going to have this full moon in Aries in your 6th house of your daily life, your habits, your health on all levels, your work environment, co-workers, how you do your life, how you do your daily life, the rhythm of your life, your energetic flow. Do you feel in flow? Do you feel like your schedules and your routines and the amount of flexibility you have, the amount of autonomy you have? Do you feel like that is meeting your needs, meeting your desires, Scorpio? That is the question of this full moon. It's an ending, completion, manifestation for some of you, but for some of you, it's also a new beginning. It's like we're turning the page. Aries energy is a call to the soul. It's answering your heart's true calling, like my book helps you with. We're turning over a chapter or a phase of life, some of you. And because this full moon is not just, the moon itself is in the 6th house, but the sun is in the 12th house of rest and retreat, your mystical self, your, subconscious mind, reprogramming your subconscious mind. Some of you, the 12th house is very mystical. It is the inner realms. It's your ability to channel energy, and it's happening on this axis. So full moon is an opposition of the sun and the moon. It's both. Both are very much in play for you here. You could get some really interesting and life-moving insights from this full moon. You could feel your mystical reality really intensify. You could have powerful dreams during this full moon. Some of you are very simply ending a job. Some of you are very simply changing your daily life in some way. You are dealing with a health issue. You're wrapping up a health issue. You're resolving something in your daily life. You are, working toward your optimal health. You are very simply, you could be really working out a lot. You could have joined a new gym. You could be doing something different with your routines of how you eat or how you exercise, or something that is changing, stretching, lifting weights, whatever it is, yoga, that walking, running, like obviously different for everyone, but it could, sometimes a full moon, especially if it's not close to any of our planets and points, we're in the house that it's happening in. Sometimes it's simply that we are, feeling more energized, especially Aries energy, to improve the things that fall within that house that I just mentioned. So, but I'm really getting a strong vibe as I look at my notes here. I'm getting a strong vibe of your mystical self, Scorpio, and deepening your connection with the divine. I'm getting that too. So let's see what the cards have to say for you. Scorpio, for your Aries full moon, your card is lie back, rest, and relax. That's the 12th house, the house of rest and retreat. Watching clouds. What happens when we watch clouds? That's where we get those insights, right? That's where we get the revelations. We look up at the clouds and that's one of the ways that we can intuit things that we wouldn't normally intuit, or we see shapes in the clouds, and that gets the daydreaming flowing. It's a way for spirit to talk to us. If you've been working really hard, if you just need some time just to be you, It's interesting how that came out, just to be you. What I meant to say is just to be, but I trust the words that come out. And I also trust that some of you need a timeout, and that some of you will, especially with the sun transiting your 12th house, some of you are ready to receive a revelation. The divine wants to talk with you, beautiful Scorpio. If anything that I shared resonates and you'd like to share with me, I would love to hear. Libra, happy birthday, beautiful Libra. Those of you who have October birthdays, this full moon for you is an ending, completion, full circle manifestation in your 7th house of partnerships. So a relationship could be ending, or it could be beginning. You could be taking it to the next level of commitment, or you're deepening your relationship with yourself, with your divine counterpart, or you are getting sparked for a new beginning vision of a relationship for you. And 7th house relationships are both romantic and close friends, companions, people that we work with. They can be anyone who has our back and we have their back. It could mean that there's a shift for you in a relationship pattern or dynamic. There could be a relationship or relationships that feel like they're coming to a close of a karmic soul contract is closing out, is completing. You could feel like you're really up leveling in relationships in sort of your way of being with people and what you're noticing other people, how they're relating to you. You could be coming much closer to somebody as a result of the soul growth work that you've done on yourself. In Libra, because the sun is in your 1st house of your I am identity, I feel that you could be feeling right now really in your power. This full moon may really put you in your power. You could feel very, in a positive way, self-possessed. I know that this is what I need. I know that this is the role I want to play at work. I know that this is the new person that I'm coming out as. I know that I am shining in this way. I'm ready to claim this identity. I'm ready to start this business. I'm ready to say this is who I am, even if no one else understands it. I feel that that's very strong for you during this full moon as well. And that, of course, the more that we come out as ourselves and we express that to others, or they just notice it in our energy, the more that can shift our relationships too, right? Libra, let us see what the cards have to say for you. I hope you're having a beautiful birthday season. I hope you feel quite empowered during this full moon. I hope it brings you a beautiful manifestation or an ending that helps you make room for a new manifestation. You are meant to be sparked in relationships, some form of relationship. The kinds of relationships, partnerships that have your back, that make you feel secure. There's a new spark, whether you're in a partnership or not. You know, there's an up leveling of your spirit in this arena, a readiness to embrace and accept. And again, it can be with you and your inner soul partner. It doesn't have to be with another human. Let's see what the cards have to say. Libra. Libra. And if you've been wanting a relationship to come to resolution, if you've been kind of holding on to something for a long time, knowing that it was over, you could feel a very strong push during this full moon to have that conversation, or, you know, make some sort of move, take some action that gets that going. Libra. Speaking of conversation, your card is clear the air, distant thunder. So here we have a really interesting image, right? I always see the lightning as Uranus energy. Uranus is really beautifully aspecting Pluto and Neptune right now. This Uranus energy of change, it can also be Mercury squaring Pluto during this full moon. Mercury is making a square to Pluto, which can be shocks as well. The lightning represents a shock. There's a distant thunder that some of you may feel. You may feel like there's a storm coming. Why? Because there she is, you are ready to move forward. You're ready to clear the air. You're ready to have a conversation that's going to bring a breakthrough for you and probably the other person, and help you to release any burden or weight that you've been carrying. Beautiful Libra, if you want to claim your power to clear the air and create a new beginning for yourself, release the emotions that you no longer want to carry, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Virgo, hello, beautiful Virgo. Virgo, the Aries full moon for you, representing an ending, completion, a full circle, graduation moment, or a manifestation, new beginning. For you, it's happening in a transformational place, the 8th house of power, control, death, and rebirth, sexual and emotional intimacy, debts, taxes, where we share money, resources, time with other people. It's the house of power and control. I think I said that, but it's our emotional attachments. And so with a full moon here, you know, there's so many different things that could be playing out. You could be getting an inheritance. You could be receiving money or resources from another person. You could be splitting up resources if some of you are going through some sort of a separation or ending within a relationship. You could be walking away from a job with a severance package and be completely celebrating that you're free now and you're doing your own thing. See, here's the thing, Virgo, as I talk about in part 1 of this video, the themes of this full moon in Aries energy, they are freedom. It's you having the autonomy to create your life your way. And most likely you're feeling it in your area of like long-term supportive foundational finances, investments, retirement funds, or, you know, I know not all of you are thinking about those things at this point, but not to say that it's not a good idea to start putting away money at your early age. I wish I had done that earlier, so I'll just throw that in there. But, you know, the 8th house is where we can really be emotionally triggered by anything having to do with finances or intimacy. And this full moon, it wants to show us our power. It wants to ignite our power to feel like we can approach any of those kinds of very heightened, emotionally heightened subjects, feeling in our own sense of control, feeling in our own power. That's really big picture what this full moon is about. But because it's opposite your second house of earned income, self-love, worthiness, deserving, those themes could come up as well. And you could be changing your source of income. You could be changing your job. You could be changing a relationship. This is a very real world, tangible, what you can touch and feel kind of full moon for you. It's tangible because it's financial and it's, relationships in which we are sharing very tangible things. So Virgo, I know you just went through the solar eclipse in your sign. Did you have any revelation during that eclipse or the eclipse before that, the lunar eclipse in Pisces? You could have gotten some sort of insight or something could have happened for you that is now having you really focus on the second eighth house axis, really focused on creating security for yourself. So Virgo, let me see what the cards have to say for you. I love this energy. It's freedom. Like I said, it's a call to freedom. It's a call to claim your power and your sovereignty. And, you could be like looking at your finances. You could be making sure that if you have savings, it's putting it in a high interest account, those kinds of things. Very practical. Some of you could be really working, but Virgo, you're really good at the practical stuff. You're really good at that. This is a full moon to take back your power. Where's the fire burning in your belly? And say yes to that, Virgo. And some of you, it's health. Even though this is not the health axis, that solar eclipse, this is a mini culmination of that solar eclipse, and it could have had to do with your health as well. You could be taking some action to treat something that is going to make you feel better. Your card is trust that there is a divine plan. Trust that there is a divine plan. If you're feeling like it's been hard, it's been a long road, you've been in the desert. It has been a desert passage for a lot of you. Those eclipses on the Pisces Virgo axis started in 2024. It's been, it hasn't been easy for Virgos. And it's not like you've been able to stop, right? Maybe you've had moments where you could catch your breath, but it's not like you've been plodding along, you've been moving forward. In the desert, we have to keep going. We look for sources of water, right? We sometimes barely get our thirst quenched when we're in the desert. But as you can see with this card, this person is walking through a portal. They've already walked through the portal. They're in a new phase. The sun is beautifully glowing in the background. There's a lot of abundant gold here. And the green, the heart chakra, the healing. There's a sense of optimism and a new path here. There's a new path that's opening up for you. Trust that there's a divine plan, beautiful Virgo. If anything I've shared resonates, I love hearing from you. Let me know in the comments. Leo. Hello, beautiful Leo. Leo. The Aries full moon, which makes a beautiful trine to your energy, the best aspect you can get, the best flowing energy to your fire energy. It is happening for you in your 9th house of expansion, Leo. You are expanding. Are you taking a trip? Do you want to take a long distance trip? Do you want to take a course? Are you finishing a course? Are you ending a stint traveling or living abroad? Are you publishing something? Doing a podcast, teaching, learning? Are you on a new adventure or you're ending an adventure? Because that's the 9th house. The 9th house is often, especially a full moon, is often when we're completing a degree program or we're, something is wrapping up. But this is an Aries full moon, which is a new beginning. Aries is the first house of new possibilities. It's metaphorical spring happening. So something is burning in your belly as well. Like you could have finished a learning program, you could be graduating from something, and now you could be launching the new career or launching the new YouTube channel, something like that. Or you're taking your newfound philosophy or what you've learned from your quest, your spiritual quest or the seeking path that you've been on, and you're wanting to share that message with other people in some way. So Leo, especially because it trines your energy, this full moon, it could be really expansive for you. New scenery. It's an ending, new beginning, or both. And because it's opposite the third house where the sun is, which is kind of the very sort of nuts and bolts of putting something together, writing a blog, starting a website, selling a car, buying a new device, going to a meetup or starting a meetup group where you can talk with people, it's very conversational. The third house, moving, shaking, transactions, signing leases, getting mortgages, all those kinds of things. Starting to work out at a gym, those kinds of things. So something could be evolving for you that has to do with sharing a mindset, sharing a message, teaching, all the things that I just mentioned. Lots of different ways that this can play out. It's also your third house where the sun is, where the moon is opposing relationships with siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, landlords. So something could be shifting in a relationship there, healing it, cutting ties, taking a break, any of those things. Leo, what does your heart most want now? Both you and the Aries energy within you needs passion. Passions. For some reason, romance is coming to my mind. I mean, the ninth house of expansion, traveling to other countries, learning another language, that can be quite romantic, right? But also maybe meeting people by doing your third house coffee dates, or any kind of date, kind of meeting somebody in your local environment, if you frequent a place, if you do yoga, if you go out dancing or anything like that, those can be great places. Meetup groups can be great places to meet people too. Leo, let us see what the cards have to say for you. I have already shuffled for you. Leo, your card is everything is possible for you. You are at the point of choosing a path. You are standing on the horizon of new possibility. You're overlooking the wide vista, the wide expanse, which is very ninth house. And you're saying, what is my path? What are you choosing? You tell me, Leo. I would love to hear. What are you choosing? All is possible. All is possible. If your mind is telling you, I can't do this for this reason, this won't work for this reason, I don't have the money, I don't have the this, that, or the other thing, the education, whatever it is. No, all is possible. Those are just naysaying voices. You are meant to follow your heart. You are meant to choose your path. The time is now. Beautiful Leo, leave me a comment if you want to claim that all is possible. What a beautiful thing to claim. Let us know in the comments. I would love to hear. Cancer. Hello, beautiful Cancer. Cancer, I have my moon and rising in Cancer, and you are going to experience the Aries full moon in your 10th house of career legacy, how you want to spend your time. This is the house of expressing your life purpose, where we want passion, meaning, and fulfillment. This could be retirement or semi-retirement. This is an ending, completion, graduation moment, or manifestation. Cancer, do you have something that is shifting for you in your professional life or in the way that you spend your time? I know that some of you don't have careers, some of you are retired, some of you are independently wealthy, some of you have never had to work. Everybody's different. But this really deep down, the 10th house is the house of vocation. And we can have a vocation without working. We can have a vocation, a passion, because we're alive, right? And that's really what this house is, that you are worthy to experience the joy, the passion, the fulfillment of what you want in your daily life because you are here. Just because you are here, because you are alive, because you are bringing your energy to the planet, you are shining your light, Cancer. You have a beautiful, nurturing way about you. That's Cancer energy. Cancers have huge hearts. They want to give back. They want to nurture. The only thing, of course, this Cancer to keep in mind is that Cancers can also overgive. Cancers can also be the ones who have trouble receiving. And sometimes there are trust issues there. So, but, this is a big but, this is important to say, but because of the aspects that are going on during this full moon with Jupiter in Cancer, there are two, and I talk about them in part one of this video. That's shifting for a lot of Cancers. That's shifting. Where before you may have self-abandoned, where before you may not have brought something up because you wanted to keep the peace, where you didn't feel worthy of getting your needs met, that's shifting. And that's great news for Cancers. We have to do the inner work to make that happen. I talk about that in part 1 of this video, more specifically. The full moon is happening opposite your 4th house of home, family, childhood conditioning, the mother line, ancestral healing, healing a pattern perhaps that has been passed down for generation after generation. You could be releasing that, Cancer. You could also be looking to change your home, making some sort of beautifying your home in some way, moving. Whenever we have a full moon on this 10th 4th house axis, it can be playing out in our home and family, or in the way we spend our time, career, and so on, retirement, or your legacy, or it can be happening in either of these areas. Cancer, what's happening for you? Leave me a comment. Let me know. I love hearing from you guys. It's an ending and a new beginning for a lot of people. Something sparking your heart. Where do you want freedom and independence? A lot of you could want to have your own business now. A lot of you could be wanting to make money through passive streams of income. You could be working on your finances only because you want freedom here. Maybe you don't want to work as much. Maybe you want to do something that gives you more freedom. And so you could be thinking about a lot of different ways of doing your life that you weren't considering before. And the planets are really supporting that. Cancer, let's see what the cards have to say for you. Cancer family, your card is, yes, Cancer, wondrous universe, walk in beauty. The wizard, the magician, the alchemist. Call on the wizard. You are a co-creator of the universe. You can make magic happen. That's what this card is saying to me. The streams of ribbon coming down from this wizard's and all the stars. This is celebrating you as a co-creator and reminding that you're a co-creator. And Saturn here with the full moon. Interesting. Some of you may have a Saturn aspect in your chart to the moon. Whenever I do astrology consultations, if I see a Saturn moon combination, I always talk about that in your astrology consultation because it's really significant. I'm not going to go too deep into it right now because not everybody has this, but in this card, what it's saying is Saturn is supporting you. And you know what's so cool? This just hit me. Jupiter in Cancer, like I talk about in part 1, is going to make a beautiful trine to Saturn when Saturn's already back into Pisces. When they get close in degrees at the end of October and early November, they're going to trine each other. And that is solidifying for a foundation. What are you building a foundation in, Cancer? You are very supported to do that as long as you keep your vibration high and that knowing of I am walking in beauty in a wondrous universe. This is a wondrous universe. It supports me. It has my back. Meet the high frequency universe. Meet it in that energy, and you will have a much easier time attracting to you what your heart most desires, beautiful Cancer. Walk in beauty with your beautiful inner magician. Gemini, hello, beautiful Gemini. Gemini, I have my natal sun in Gemini, and the Aries full moon is happening for you in your 11th house of fulfillment. It's a beautiful combination, Aries, to your energy because the fire of Aries, it sparks your air, gems. It sparks your air. And this full moon is an ending, completion, full circle manifestation moment, a sense of look how far I've come, and it wants to free you. Gemini, you need freedom. I know I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. You need freedom. You need to be able to do your life your way. The 11th house is the world card in the tarot. It's a full circle completion. It's an ending to a way of life and a beginning to a new way of life. What is the old way that you're leaving behind and what's the new way? It could be as simple as I've been working for someone and now I want to be self-employed, or I've had my own business and now I want to retire, or I've been in a specific flow of relationship dynamics with friendships, with allies, with supporters. That's the 11th house as well. And now that's shifting. Some of you could be walking away from a group, like a church that you go to regularly, or something that you've been devoted to, an organization you've been committed to. You could be ending that. Your vibrational frequency, your desire to how you want to spend your time has changed, a lot of you. And so, something could be changing. You could be changing social media presence. You could be changing any platforms that you have. If you have a platform for sharing your voice, whether in writing and speaking through videos like this, television, some of you, new supporters will come into your life, Gemini. That's really good news. New allies, new friendships. You could feel in the void right now. You could feel like some people have left your life, but you don't have the new ones in your life yet. You get a sextile from this energy, from this full moon. It sextiles you. It brings you an opportunity. It brings you a solution. It brings you resources to make things work. Also, this is the house of long-term financial gain. So you could be working with your finances. You could be making adjustments in, where you're putting money, or like starting a savings habit if you didn't have one before, that kind of thing. And opposite the full moon in your 5th house of love, romance, children, and creativity, you could be feeling a call to spend more time meeting new people. You could want more romance in your life, or some romance in your life if you haven't had it. You could be spending more time with children. New creative juices maybe flowing for you. More time for fun, more time for joy, more time to do things that you haven't been, giving time to. Because the sun in the 5th house is, let's just go have fun. That's the sun in the 5th house. But at the same time, the 11th house where the full moon is very worldly. So you could at the same time be feeling like a sense of, I have these worldly obligations, or I have this goal, I have this ambition to express what I have to express. And, sometimes there can be a tension there. That's why we say full moons are oppositions. There can be tension between like what your more worldly desires and your more just childlike. I just want to, like for me, I just want to play with that cute little baby, that cute little grandson. Oh my gosh, his name is Koa, but we call him Cocoa Bean, and he's just, oh my gosh, he has 2 names for me. My grandchildren call me Nana Grandma because I have played the tongue drum from them, and we always have sung na 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 na, and so they call me Nana Grandma. This goes years back. But so the baby, Koa, he calls me Nana or Gaga. But anyway, as you can tell, it makes me really happy. I love him so much. So I can't even put words to it. I can't even put words. But anyway, Gemini, this is all to say that you could find, because you're a dual energy, you have 2 sides. There could be one side of you that wants just the frivolity and the joy and the lightness and doing things for no particular reason, but because they feel wonderful. And then the part of you that feels a little more ambitious, that maybe wants to do some world travel, or put a message out and so on. That could be part of the full moon energy for you as well. Let us see what the cards have to say for you now. It's starting to get dark. The lighting is not as good. But beautiful gems, I am still very much with you. Gemini. Your card is go slow and take your time. I love this card because it's saying if you feel like you're behind, if you feel like you have been fogged in, everything's happening in divine perfect timing and divine perfect order. And look, they're on an adventure. There is a worldly quality to this card. I love that the sail is a mandala. You're not alone. You're with others. That's very 11th house. I'm doing it with others. I'm doing it with friends. I have a support group. I have a support network. We're all rowing together. This could be a call for some of you, if you've been going through something difficult, to find others going through something similar so you don't feel like you're going through it alone. Go slow and take your time. There is no rush. You may feel a sense of urgency, emergency. That's Aries energy, but this is very much telling us no. If you feel fogged in, if your mind has been foggy, Saturn in Pisces does make a square to your energy. Venus has been in Virgo, and that squares your energy. It hasn't been easy for Geminis for those reasons. But if you go slow and you get support and you don't do it alone, it will be much easier. Beautiful Gemini, if anything that I shared resonates and you want to share with me, leave me a comment. I would love to hear. Taurus. Hello, beautiful Taurus. Taurus, the Aries full moon for you is happening in your 12th house of rest, retreat, your inner mystic, where we can have intense dreams. The 12th house is where we have magnificent, sometimes, awakenings and openings in our deep, deep psychic senses, where we can channel energy, we can be mediums, we can be healers in all different ways. We can, spend more time in places that are meant for retreat, like spiritual retreats. We can help people who are in their own healing process, in hospice, for example, or in a hospital, or people that go out to work in prisons to help other people who are confined. The 12th house is an otherworldly place. It's not this normal world, even if you think of like a prison, like very much not of this world in a way, right? And then there's what happens in our dream life and what happens when we do have a sudden awakening and we do, our third eye opens up. Like these are all very numinous. They're very, the 12th house can take you into the darkest dark of like what it might be like to be in a prison, to the lightest light of being in the state of enlightenment. It can run the whole gamut and, so many different energies there, right? Such a spectrum. But a full moon in the 12th house is very likely going to take you out of your state of your current mindset and put you in a new state. And it could really, really expand your sense of your own mystical self. You could get amazing illuminations through your dreams, through meditation. A full moon here, Taurus, I would be doing some sort of visualization or meditation. I have several meditations on my YouTube channel. You can download one for free from my website as well. I would be, doing some sort of shape shifting into a bird or a dolphin. I like to shape shift into dolphins, just play in the water. But, shapeshift it into an animal, some of you, to just see where that animal is taking you, to get a bird's eye view of your life. These are ways that we can get clarity on what we want going forward. So many things I could share with you, Taurus. I could go on and on, but I'm not going to. I'm going to tell you, too, that the sun is opposite the moon during this full moon in your 6th house of daily habits, your work environment, your health on all levels. Time to release anything not in alignment with you. Release anything toxic, whether it's a mindset or a subconscious programming of your mind. That is meant to be released. Anything that isn't good for your health. Any kind of way of being, whether it's thinking or what we eat or how we don't exercise, how we don't move our body, how we, any way that a relationship in which we are allowing something toxic into our lives, all of that is meant to go during this very powerful full moon. I love 12th house full moons because as discombobulating in the moment as they can be, they really do show us things that we don't often see in our normal everyday, where we're busy, where we're on autopilot, where we're just going through the motions of life. This is going to be a powerful full moon. And Taurus, because you're a fixed sign and there's going to be a square between Mercury and Pluto in fixed signs as well. If you have any planets or points at the very early degrees of your sign, you will likely feel that square, and that could bring up something where you need to set a boundary. I talk all about this in part 1 of the video, but you could feel this more intensely because of that square as well. It wants to empower you. It wants to show you a fear that needs to be released, or show you, where you do have power. It's a full moon to claim your power, Taurus, to reclaim your power. Because you're going places. You're going places. You're moving ahead. But this is like a clearing out, a cleansing, a washing away for some of you. Creating space. With the thought in mind that Aries is also a new beginning. As we make space, we We open up to a new beginning. Okay, Taurus. Let us see what the cards have to say for you. Beautiful Taurus. Your card is the wandering path, enjoy the journey. If you have been too ambitious and too focused on a specific outcome or a specific destination, this is saying it is okay to wander. A spiritual path is a wandering path. Your moon, the full moon's in the 12th house of wandering. After all, it's in the 12th house of the mystic. It's not of this realm. It's not of this earthly plane. It is here to illuminate something for you, this full moon. And perhaps one thing it wants to illuminate through this card is for you to let yourself enjoy the journey a little bit more and let go of the outcome and let go of things having to be a certain way and allowing yourself to be on a wandering path. As difficult as that is for our human self, and it is, but as you go from vista to vista to vista and you follow this path of beautiful green, very, very lush and fertile landscape. As you do this and you use your own ability to strategize, the fox, and you use your own inner compass and all the resources you have in the material world, Taurus, you're good at that. As you do that, you can actually have a beautiful, beautiful journey. So if you want to claim that you are enjoying the journey or anything else you want to share, let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear. Beautiful friends, thank you for joining me for the Aries full moon and your 12 sign readings. Thank you for giving this video a thumbs up, for liking it, for commenting, for sharing this video with others, for subscribing to the channel. Your subscribes are very important to the growth and longevity of this work, and I cannot do this without you. Speaking of working together, if you would like to do an astrology consultation with me, if you'd like to meet me on Zoom, I would love to illuminate your astrology chart as well as the transits and what is going on in the sky for you right now and how it relates to any concerns or goals or heart's desires. Go to my website. There are testimonials that clients have shared after working with me on both my astrology and my coaching pages. Read what others have to say. That should give you a sense of whether you feel called to book a reading or a clarity session. Lots of choices there for you. A lot of clients like to book the 90-minute consultation because it gives us an opportunity for both an astrology reading, but also for you to get some coaching and support from me on what is most up for you now. Or we can do a heart's desire, a life purpose and natal chart, or a relationship harmony reading as well. Check out the offerings on my website. The links to my coaching and astrology pages are in the description box below, and it will be my absolute joy to meet you on Zoom. To get my free gift, which is a soothing guided meditation, one that connects you to your higher guidance, the unconditional realms of divine love, to receive this soothing meditation as an instant download, go to my website, subscribe to my inspirational astrology updates for free, and you will get that wonderful free gift at the same time. Let me know, my friend, what you are sensing, thinking, feeling about this full moon. I love hearing from you, and until my next video, I am sending you all my love.